Well, I just did a test outside with this packing tape reinforced dish underneath the NASA, and it did seem to acquire quicker. It had green light within a minute or so, or a minute and a half, and then a green and a red, but I didn't wait that long to go to a solid green, a solid green flashing, because it was so dark out and the video was pretty crap. So anyways, I wanted to show you the case again, because now I've got the props off the arms. Now you can see how much space this takes up. You place the arms on the body, and I've got this gimbal in here, so I have to keep that out of the way. But if you place the arms on the body like this, and you rotate the landing gear, if you're using landing gear, you could put the gimbal on the top here. You could mount the plate upside down, basically, or right side up, depending on how you look at it. But like this, so that you could have the gimbal, on the top of the quadcopter instead of below, and then you wouldn't need the landing gear. So that's an option. I'm thinking of doing that myself, but right now the landing gear is working for me, especially in the long grass. So here I've rotated the landing gear. It's a small Phillips, so that's an extra tool, but a small Phillips screwdriver, your Leatherman tool, and your 3mm Allen key are all the tools that you need for this whole assortment of parts. And that will put your arms back into the body, tighten down your clamps, which you can see here, aluminum anodized clamps on the end of the tube here, inside edge of the lock block. Then you have them all square. Double check that they're square. Turn them if you have to. Line them up by looking at them in line with the body. Make sure that they are square. You can also look at it from above, and you'll notice any motor that's slightly tilted out of the way, and you can correct it before you tighten down your assembly bolts. These two here, with the nut on the bottom being held with a Leatherman, and the top being a 3mm T-handle Allen screw wrench. Now I would like to point out that it's 2.5 millimeters, the actual Allen size, for 3mm Allen screws. So make sure that you have a 2.5 T handle. Now with these motors, it's fitting really nicely. You can see here I have quite a bit of room on the top. The weight's going to be pushed down on the bottom, so you want to keep that in mind when you're packing something like this, that most of the weight will be below. You could reverse the arms if you want, so that the motors are low in the box itself. When I get foam for this, then I'll figure out a nicer way to put it in there. But right now it's ready to go. I'm just going to put a blanket over top of all of it, I think, and then unwrap it when I get to the field and assemble. And like I said, when you assemble, it's quite quick. I have the Dean's connectors for these, so I'll be able to take the arms and remove them completely from the body, and then assemble them with the Dean's connectors and the servo wires, which are one direction only, basically. So I've tried to eliminate all the problems with assembling something quickly. And with the ESCs outside, you get maximum cooling. They're far away from sensitive electronics inside the body. And hold on a second, I'll get the other mounts that I have. Like that way. At the propeller artwork on the wall there. For the next few kits, I'm going to be including these. These mounts here. Get the gelling out of the way here. And these mounts, for just your regular assembly, use this outer mount holes for your bracket on the end of your arm. And that would be after the lock block section, which adds support. There is room for a second, so I'm including these with the next few kits for people to use, and then they could actually buy extra clamps at the back and actually have even more rigid support for larger motors over 2218, maybe even the pancake motors. You might have to take out the furthest extended holes here with a round file for some 40mm motors, but other than that, these will be a little bit stronger if you actually get extra mounts. and put those on. As well, there's room for the ESC to be mounted on these with zip ties here. So if you just use the outer mount on your tube arms, then use this other hole section here for your ESC mounting, and then you'll have cooling on top of your ESC above the tube. So that's the new development there, but we're going to get some foam for this eventually and get back to the field for some more testing in less windy conditions, I hope, and find out what the tracking's like on the NASA before making any changes. So there you go, guys. Have a good night, and say good night, Gracie.